So we've done our keybinds, we've learned some of the basics, and changed some options. Let's take a look at the important things in the NPC cities that you need to know when you first start the game. So you start at the bindstone, and you'll find that there's an NPC somewhere around, and this NPC will have some quests for you and sell some basic equipment. You can also sell things here, and you can change your starting weapons if you need to. But we won't be covering quests. So what we'll do is we're gonna look around the city, and I'll show you some of the important things. So if you open the map, and let's enable vendors and workstations and the bank. So this is showing you all the things of note in the NPC city, and the first thing you need to know is the bank. So we're gonna head over to the bank, and we can zoom in the minimap just to make it a little bit easier. And the bank is right over here. So you interact with the bank in much the same way as you interact with the NPC or the loot or the nodes that you gather. And you'll see that when you first open your bank, it will be empty. So ideally you want to make sure that you don't have too much stuff on you. So anything you're not using, you're gonna dump in the client bank. Here it's really messy. You should use bags to organize things, set it up in a certain way that you like. I've got a few bags over here, so I'm gonna rename this bag by double holding my left click. Now I can control click to select similar items, or I can control click again to select all similar items, and then I can drag them over here. Now what if I wanted to do something like this? So I want to select just these items over here. Hold left alt and I drag. Great. We'll do the same for the weapons. That looks better now. And maybe I can use this bag for resources. Cool, we've organized the bank. Now in New Dawn there's local banking, and what that means is that your bank is local. So your items in this bank are not going to be in another bank. They're just in this bank. You also have a gold account, so if I take out 100 gold, and I did that with shift, so I held shift and then I dragged, like so. And I drop it over here. I've deposited 90 gold into my gold account. So doing this costs, it taxes me for 10%, and if I want to withdraw, it doesn't tax me anything, I just take it out. As you can see. If you press G and you're in a clan, you can also see the clan bank option, if you have the rank to do so. For retrieval, this is where your bank will be, or the items in your bank that were in a different bank that you no longer have access to. For instance, if your holding was sieged, or for any situation where you've lost access to your bank, you will find the retrieval vault at a nearby bank, and you can withdraw the items if it's close enough to the holding or bank that you've lost access to. So that's the 101 on banks. There are several NPCs around this starting area, and they have various quests or skills that you can purchase. The mage is the one that sells regents, but also the arcanist. The fighter typically sells the arrows, and the merchant sells things like bags and repair tools. So this is where you buy regents, if not on the marketplace, and if you go to services, it also has some general skills as well, and magic skills. For the indev, the skills that you see here are in place in the situation that you've unlocked the level but you didn't gain the spell. You can go to the NPC and purchase it. You can also upgrade your spells at this NPC, and you can unlock certain skills, double jump and sidestep, or double step as it's now called. So double jump is just like you can jump twice instead of once, and sidestep is like a dodge. So for spells, you have different options depending on the spell. Since I only have bolts, I only have the 40% increase speed or range. The fighter offers pretty much the same sort of options, but for physical playstyles. So if we go up here, we can see that there's crafting stations here and the blacksmith. So these crafting stations are used for crafting, and each of them has its own set of crafts. So the smith has the weapons and armor, and you can just scroll through and see what kind of weapons and equipment you can make. The workbench is more universal. This is the one where you do taming, so that's making mounts. Tailoring, that's for leather and light armors. Bowyer, construction, and wood cutting. So this is where you process your wood. This is the smelter. So this is where you process the iron and rare ores, and that's the cooking station where you cook food. And this is where you make staffs and potions and things of that nature. There's also an enchanting table, but it's exclusive to higher tier cities. So that would be the capital, right here. You can see that there's an enchantment wheel. Or some of the more advanced cities on the borders of the starting area, like Imithir. You can see there's a enchanting wheel over here. Player cities tend to have all the crafting stations if they're built, and hamlets can have a variety of crafting stations depending on the hamlet. So let's go visit the merchant. The blacksmith also has some skills you can purchase, including the masteries. So this is where you would buy the things like weaponsmithing mastery, logging mastery, and so forth. I've almost forgotten the marketplace, but since we're nearby, might as well. So this is the marketplace where you would have items, and what you would do is, let's say I want to sell this item. So I want to sell some goblin teeth. I'll drop it over here, and I'll set a time and the price. So here I've set up the sale, and it says the quantity, the price per unit, and how long it's up. Withdraw is where you're going to take out the resulting sales or expirations. This is where you take out the items, and if there were items on this marketplace, this is where you would search for them, and there's a variety of filters that you can set. So to finish off this video, we're gonna head over to the merchant and see what the merchant has in store. Cool. The wheat can be used for making bread, good food, and the sacks can be bought to organize our bank. So that's it for NPC cities, and that's what you need to know at the start of the game.